You and yours versus me and mine. We talking teams? Are we talking teams? Are we switching sides?
Cheers.
Cheers.
And welcome to another episode of the Marlon vs. Marlon podcast. And I'm your boy Marlon.
And I'm your boy Marlon.
Join us as two childhood friends go back and forth, fight, argue, debate, very rarely, maybe even agree on everything from sports, pop culture, and everything in between.
We are the champions, my friend. I mean, you know, I called it in 6 games. Marlon still didn't believe me. I gotta go back and find it for him. But
So did I.
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You said, I asked you, because I remember we were at your house, and I said, pick, let's hear your pick.
And what
And
I said,
you said,
the winner of game 1 and 6. That's a prediction.
Nah, I don't even think you said that.
The team.
I'll go back and find it. You didn't say that. I don't even think you gave it anyway.
That's what I said.
So of course we'll cover all the Lakers, the ups and downs. We'll get into that game 5. Game 5 was very controversial as far as if LeBron should have shot it, and should he have passed it to Danny Green? Marquise Morris wasn't really getting any blame. So we'll get into all that stuff, and also to everything that happened in Week 5. Big injury for the Cowboys in Dak. So we'll dive all into that. Alex Smith came back. We still have some undefeated teams. The Chiefs look very average. So there's a ton of stuff we'll get into. But of course, we'll just start off with the Lakers. I mean, LeBron MVP, 4 rings. It's been just an incredible journey. And one of the biggest things he was saying that he wanted his respect, of course, which I felt he already had his respect, but I think sometimes a lot of people look at that finals record and to see all those losses that are on there. But in my opinion, he's had his respect, but there will always be people that love to, Jordan, 6-0, all that stuff. So I think he's had his respect for a while.
I actually posted, I think that he's talking about you Laker fans in particular, because you guys hated him when it was all this Kobe versus LeBron talk, and now that he's one of you guys, I still to this day, even post championship the other day, I still have Laker fans that say, I still don't like him. Like, what? What are you talking? Like, how can you not like this man? Why not?
I will, sorry, my daughter's here with me, so I'm maybe talking to her here and there. But, I mean, I was one of those guys that just didn't like LeBron. It was like you like Kobe or you like LeBron. You just didn't like both, because even though that really wasn't a rivalry, you had 2 of the best premier players at that time, and it was just one or the other. So for the most part, you, for instance, you were never a big Kobe guy, but you like LeBron. So it's like that's really just how it is. And of course, if you're a Lakers fan, you're always going to be pro Kobe, but it really just kind of depends on. Go ahead.
Let's be honest. I didn't like Kobe. I never said anything bad about Kobe's game. You can't say anything bad about, like, that's what kills me about
you
these
weren't a
narratives.
Kobe fan.
You don't have to be a Kobe fan to respect greatness.
Well, yes.
I don't have to be a Kobe fan. Like, I wasn't a Laker fan. I hate Laker fans because half of them jumped off the bandwagon and went to Golden State when they were winning the past 4 years.
Like your brother.
Exactly. So, and now they're back.
Yeah.
I can see the difference between gold and yellow on those jerseys.
Right.
You're not fooling me. But my whole thing is greatness, and I appreciate that in basketball. Like, for me, like everybody said, oh, he should have took that last shot. That's bad basketball. Oh, Kobe would have took it. That's what I didn't like. Kobe is amazing. And Kobe's mind frame was, I'm going to will this team to win. If I got to score 70 points to win and take all the shots, I'll do it. And he said that. So I'm not putting words in his mouth. Rest in peace, Kobe. He said that. Like, we have him on camera saying, who else am I going to pass the ball to?
Yeah.
Whereas as LeBron, and let me kind of justify my position here. I played point guard.
Yep.
So my whole life, like, I've had games where I scored 30, where I've had 35, whatever the case is. But my whole life, I was taught to make the best basketball play. And I grew up, studying Magic Johnson. So to me, that style of play is what I appreciate more. So that don't mean I'm sitting up here, because if I don't like Kobe, I don't like MJ. It was the same game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, however, I just think LeBron is LeBron, and he should be respected as such.
And he should. And sometimes when you think about it, yes, Kobe probably would have taken that shot 8 out of 10 times. He probably would have. But also, too, he's passed the ball to Derek Fisher, who's had a lot of big shots. Robert Horry, just Artest.
I was going to say the last championship, we remember Ron Artest,
Yeah.
our Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
And in the press conference saying,
Yeah.
Kobe passed me the ball.
Right. And
it's the right basketball play.
But also, too, Kobe's defense, he feels that it doesn't matter if 5 people are guarding him. He's going to feel like his shot is going to be better than anybody else at that point. Guarded, unguarded, wide open. I just know that he definitely feels like he has his chances. So,
No, and I don't disagree with that. Sometimes that's the case. But like you just said, we've also seen the other side of that where that's not really the case.
Yeah.
Like you've done your job. Like when you draw the defense and you get 2 people to guard you, that means somebody's open. That's good basketball. That's all it is. And in that case, he drew like 3.5 people.
Yeah.
So,
And actually, I don't mean to cut you off. We have a guest right now. He's actually about to join us. His team is actually playing right now, the Bills. So I apologize, Ali. We're gonna get to you in a second. Let's see if he answers. There he is. Twizzy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you live, man. We on. How you doing?
Man, doing great, man. How are you doing?
You sound like you sleep during your game.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. For everybody that doesn't know, Twizzy he's a Bills fan, surprisingly, which we don't see too many Bills fans. He's a Dodgers fan and a Lakers fan. So for
he's
one,
got a whole roller coaster of emotions going on right now.
Right.
Man, it's been great, but the one thing about it is that COVID has put a damper on it. It sucks that I've been waiting this whole time, especially for my Bills to get good, and here it is. A lot of people want to kind of discount the season. The Lakers, that's going to go down for history as far as the Lakers are concerned because we tied the Celtics.
17. Yeah.
I'm loving that. You know what I mean? I'm loving that, and so LeBron, for as much as me, Marlon. For all those that don't know, I've been one of the biggest guys against LeBron coming to the Lakers. I didn't want that to happen at all because LeBron, he just destroys teams once he leaves. They're just decimated, and we're seeing that with Cleveland. But with Cleveland, if it wasn't for Pat Riley and Spoelstra being so good at their job, the Heat have been treading water. But that was the main reason why I didn't want once he left to get 2-3 good years out of him, and leave and our teams are down. But like I was just saying, COVID just put a damper on it as far as the Dodgers are concerned. They've been cheated out of it.
Hold on. Before you get to the Dodgers.
Yeah, before you get to the Dodgers, I got a question for you because you brought up the LeBron and being a team killer. You talked about the Heat and they survived and they're back up. I think for the next few years they'll be a power in the Eastern Conference, especially if they can somehow get Giannis down there. But Cleveland was really, 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 really bad before LeBron. So why would you say he left them decimated?
Well, they were on the right track. Once you get to that certain tier, they were one of the bottom feeders. And once you get to that certain tier, you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to that being a bottom feeder. And they were on their way. And of course, it was because of him, obviously. You know what I mean? But you would think that a good franchise will be able to springboard off of that and try to stay from that bottom tier. But they're not a good franchise. They were just, because of LeBron. But
yeah, I was gonna say I thought that fell a lot on Dan Gilbert and how he handled that whole situation. I mean, we remember that first stint in Cleveland. Their idea of bringing in another superstar to kind of help LeBron was Antoine Jameson, old Antoine Jameson too, not the good one. You know what I mean? So it's like they did a lot and that upper management team to kind of hurt that situation too. To your point with Pat Riley and the Heat, a historic organization for that exact reason, because they're always able to bounce back. They're able to bring in guys that fit. I just didn't think that Cleveland did a very good job. I mean, outside of LeBron, nobody wants to go there, for one. And two, like when you saw Dan Gilbert come out and write that letter to the press, if you will, talking so bad about LeBron, like why would another guy want to go play for you after that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's calling him a coward, saying he didn't have, like, leaving. Man, like that's setting yourself up for failure with future free agents, whatever the case is.
Without question, you know, you lose that trust. You know, players need that trust. You know, when you play sports, trust is a big thing.
Right.
You know, on the court and off the court. You know, especially the business part of it. You know, so if you feel like you're gonna get stabbed in the back, or you know, if your owner doesn't have your back the whole way, you know, you're unlikely, especially in a place like Cleveland where it's not as desirable to live as some of these other places when you got a pocket full of money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm gonna transition a little bit over to, everybody saw Game 5, and I feel like Danny Green got the worst end of everything just for missing a shot. He was actually on the bench for a while. Most people don't know that, and he got called in for the play. He missed a bad shot. I mean, was he wide open? I mean, he had some distance between the defenders. But
answers, yes.
I mean, now a lot of people look at LeBron saying that he should have taken the shot. For one, do you feel he should have took the shot? And two, how much blame goes on Danny Green, if any at all?
Look, LeBron, it's not so much that he did take the shot for me, because Danny Green was wide open, and I mean, if you pay Danny Green for two things: defense and to make the open three, right?
Facts.
So it wasn't that, but it was the play that he made. I didn't like how he had the left side of the court wide open, and he drove right into the defense. To me, if he would have went left, it would have been, if he would have had a better opportunity for a better play to make for himself. I think that he went into that thinking that, you know, someone else can make a play and that they would double team him. He didn't go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to make a play and then let the play develop. And and the way that he went when he did go right, he didn't go aggressive enough for me. He could have drawn a foul. Being a superstar in that situation, he would like to see a draw a foul. Now, I mean, it's nitpicky.
Right.
But you do give Danny Green the bulk of the credit in that particular situation, from my perspective, because he was open, and that's what you do pay him for.
And also, too, with Morris throwing the ball away, really just thinking AD was right under the basket. I mean, honestly, nobody mentions him as far as for the blame for the loss. But, I mean, we obviously won Game 6, but a lot of the focus was on that game, and which transitions over to my next point. You know, Jordan would have done this, Kobe would have done that. Right now, I know we don't like to compare them, but you're a little old school, so you grew up watching Jordan and this and that. So, at this point right now, is Jordan better than LeBron?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Jordan is better than LeBron. You know what I mean? But this is why I hate going to that conversation. I would rather rank them by position. And after what LeBron just did, getting his fourth MVP, sports ring, I just got him past Larry Bird. I thought Larry Bird was the greatest small forward in the history of the game.
Wow.
And
over Tim Duncan?
Small forward, he said.
Oh, small forward. I thought you said power forward. Okay, all right. Okay.
Small forward. And then we can argue with Tim Duncan. He played a lot of his career at center. That's always the conundrum I have with Tim Duncan is, where do we put him? Because so much of his time was we like to call him a power forward because that's kind of what he came into the league as. But over the course of time, he developed as a center. But that's a different conversation. But like I said, I just now passed because, you know, if we're gonna put emphasis on championships, and that was the reason why, you know, one of the knocks on LeBron is his record in the finals. And if we're gonna put the emphasis on individual awards, you know, like the Finals MVP, well, I mean, regardless of how I feel personally about LeBron, I have to give him the credit where credit's due. And Finals championship, and now you got to give him what credit is due. That passes Larry Bird. That hardware, because I don't believe so much in stats. Once you get to a certain tier, once you get to that upper echelon, and that legendary status is not so much about points and stats and all those type of things. You gotta start adding in those individual awards and those championships, because that's what it's about. So,
I will say this: we kind of questioning your Larry Bird, saying that he just passed Larry Bird, but that's another argument for another day.
I think I'll say this. I think a lot of times, and I've seen this time to time. Don't get me wrong. I got a 1A, a 1B, a 1C, and they all can be interchangeable for me. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson. And I just, for some reason, it feels like every time we have these conversations, the goalposts get moved for LeBron. Like he said it after the game. What are they going to say next? What didn't I do? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because all the things that we're saying, like, for example, Larry Bird, no disrespect to you. Your opinion is your opinion. But Larry Bird wouldn't even come in the game if he was on the same team as LeBron James. Like, he's playing as many minutes as Quinn Cook. If he's Jared Dudley on the Lakers, if LeBron James is on his team, like he's not taking any minutes from him. You can't do it.
Right.
I mean, we can argue that all day.
Yeah.
Larry Bird. To me, Larry Bird was the greatest small forward of all time until he had to. LeBron James has a better resume, but as a player, his skill set, what he brings to the table, I always liked Larry Bird a little better.
Okay.
Like I said, if we put so much emphasis on 6-0 for Jordan, Russell getting 11 championships. Well, when LeBron gets his 4th championship, that passes Larry Bird. He's got a 4th MVP. You got to give him credit where credit is due, and I'm not biased like that, so. I'm going to give the man his credit as far as that is concerned. He's past Larry Bird for me now. He's the greatest power small forward of all time, without question. You can no longer argue that point.
Okay.
And before that, I felt you could argue that point.
Right.
I mean, if before that you thought LeBron James was the greatest, you can argue it. It wasn't a crazy thought. I think now it's solidified, and there is no argument.
Right.
All right, so it's last thing real quick, and we'll let you go. I know you're a huge Dodgers fan. Do you guys see yourself getting back to the World Series? And if so, are you finally going to get a win?
I do not know. You know what? Because I've been telling all my Dodger buddies that the Braves, and I've been watching them all year long, the Braves are the real deal. And this,
Serious.
What? The Braves are so balanced. They had the second most home runs behind the Dodgers. They've got talent up and down the lineup. Their pitching has been on fire since the playoffs started. These guys are the real deal. And you know what? If the Dodgers lose to this team, that is not the upset that everybody thinks it is. I thought going into this series, it was a 50-50 series. And that was scary being the Dodgers fan that I am. Now, it's going to be fun. This is a fun series to watch. But as far as my expectations, it's a coin flip for me.
And then when Kershaw goes down, I mean, that's a big loss. Hopefully he can come back and pitch again in this series. But like you said, that lineup is crazy, and the pitching staff is so underrated. I mean, they held that Dodger team in check. Game 1, I think they had 1 run. Today, so far, they don't have any runs. So, I mean, you got to put some respect on that team. Like you said, they've been playing well all year. It's not. They got big bats, they got big arms, and those two things win baseball games. So,
but Atlanta has been coming for a few years now. For the last couple of years, they've been building to this. That's what's scary. They didn't just flip a switch or get lucky because of the short season, everything else. Just like the Dodgers have been on the same road, on the same path. Hey, Atlanta has been right there behind them without the bigger names. Without the superstars, without the headlines that the Dodgers have been given. They've been gradually accumulating to this point, and they're here now, and they're ready. And it's not too big of a stage, and it scares me as a Dodgers fan. Like I said, I've been telling all my guys, all my buddies, all my friends, all my Dodger buddies, hey, this is a 50-50 series. Don't just automatically pencil us in into the World Series, because it'd be great to get there and it'd be great to win. You know, it's such that, like I said, it's a COVID year. A lot of people try to discount it.
Right.
But the one thing that we have in our favor to that argument of trying to discount it is that, like I said about Atlanta, we've been coming for a few years. We've been to the World Series. Everybody knows we've been cheated at least once, and you know, it looks like we've been cheated twice. It was also by the Houston and by Boston.
Facts.
But at the same time, we lost. Got to take our L. And this season right here, we were number one all year long, so that validates it. We were the most talented team. We had the best record. So if we win, obviously, you know, you have to count that. You have to count it, and it's going to go ahead, and it'll be our first championship since '88. You know, it's been a long time. I think I was 12, 11 years old the last time the Dodgers. Now remember it so vividly, and it'd be great to get back to that situation, man. If both my teams. Like, we might as well sweep it and be the COVID championship.
Hey, man, we appreciate you for joining, man, and good luck to your Bills. I think you guys winning right now?
Man, you know what, I was on the Dodgers, so.
I know it's halftime right now, so.
21-10 Titans.
21-10, yeah, so. But we'll see, man. We appreciate you for joining, and yeah, we'll be chatting soon, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man, anytime, Marlon, man. My bad, man, for being a little bit late, but, man,
hey.
Here, man, I love you, man. I appreciate you, man. And I can't wait to see you again.
Hey, yeah, we'll link up in Vegas again soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As soon as all this is over.
All right, man. I'll see you.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So that only thing I gotta say is just the Larry Bird thing. That was a little questionable, but
and that'd be my whole thing, man. It's so many opinion based, like. If we're only talking facts, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, that's an opinion. That's that man's opinion. So,
right.
You know.
So yeah, we're getting ready to get to the next guest. This is and by the way, we normally have a few episodes where it's just us two, but we had so many people that we were trying to squeeze into one episode, and it already ran, 2 hours. So we're just trying to show the love. I know a lot of people, they want to get on the show. They want to just interact with us, and we appreciate all the love, all the support, everything.
For sure.
Subscribe, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Podcasts as well. So another big story that happened aside from the Lakers over the weekend was Dak Prescott. Huge loss. I mean, it was just it was tough all the way around, either way you look at it. And the first thing I think of is, for one, will this guy ever play again? I hope he does, for one. Two, should he have taken the money? Getting offered, I believe it was 5 years, 105, something like that, guaranteed, and I think it was 175 total. I believe it was. So
something nice.
Yeah, but I mean, he wanted more, and
he actually wanted less. So he didn't mind the money. He didn't want to be under contract for 5 years. He wanted a 4-year contract. That was the breakup. That was the deal breaker for him, or his side.
I
but
feel for the guy, man.
It's give and take, man, because I think it's going to end up backfiring on the Cowboys. I think that Dak is not going to give us a discount. He's going to be a free agent, and he's going to go take money elsewhere. I know your big thing was he's in a Cam situation.
And let me explain that for you. Elaborate. I said he was in somewhat of a similar boat than Cam Newton because you're coming off of an injury and you're a free agent. I think the unfortunate part about this is teams aren't going to be rushing to sign you. And if you're in need of a starting quarterback, you may offer him, like Phillip Rivers, for instance, playing horrible this year. He's making $1 year, $25 million. I don't think he would get offered anything close to that because that's too much for a team to give up on a quarterback like that you haven't necessarily seen. You may bring him in for a workout, but I just don't feel that teams are rushing to sign and give him a huge contract. Now, he's going to get lowballed, and did the Cowboys come out today or yesterday and say that he's going to be not that he's going to sign him. I think Steven said he's going to be a Cowboy or something like that. Cowboys are stupid if they franchise tag him.
He has to sign a franchise tag. You can't franchise tag him.
Well, yes, but even offering him the tag, I don't think they would do that. But
all right, you got your point.
Okay, my fault. I just want to say that. My fault.
This is where you're wrong. Go where you're wrong first because Cam was signed. Cam wasn't a free agent when he got hurt. Cam rehabbed with the Carolina Panthers, and then they saw his rehabilitation. They liked what they had in the other guy, who's not even a starter anymore, and they cut Cam. So when you rehab with a team doctors are all like this. There's only 31 of you in the world. They're friends. So if this team doctor doesn't think that he can cut it or doesn't think that he's worth that much money, you think the other 31 teams don't know about it? Heck yeah, is the answer. They do know about it. So when that team cuts you and you're coming back off of a down year and a couple down years because Cam hadn't been himself since the Super Bowl run, is a completely different situation. I say he's more in a Earl Thomas situation where Earl Thomas was on a one-year deal with the franchise tag. He gets hurt, comes back, didn't get the money he wanted, but he still got a big contract for somebody coming dead off of injury.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the difference again between Cam and Dak is 24, 25 years old. And he was playing the best football of his career. So I do think he'll get a deal. I think that he will have some kind of animosity towards the Cowboys for not signing him last year, whether he should have signed or not, and probably take like money elsewhere. And I hate to see that because I want him to be a Cowboy.
You think he's getting offered $90, $100 million guaranteed next year?
I think he'll get a $100 million contract, yes.
$100 million total. $100 million total. I'd give him maybe 40 guaranteed, something like that. He's not getting a massive contract. He's not getting anything close to what these top 5, 6, 7 guys are making.
Well, nobody's getting anything close to what Patrick Mahomes made, first of all.
Well,
so
yes, but I know that's
not.
But I know that's what he wants, and I don't even think he's getting.
He doesn't want.
He's gonna get.
He's come out and said he doesn't deserve that. Like Dak is a really smart guy. He knows his value. That's why he wanted 4 years as opposed to 5 years, so he can dip back in while he's still in his prime and get another big contract. Aaron Rodgers, like somebody like that, but. You know, Mahomes was in a completely different situation where, was it 10 years?
Well, he's not Mahomes.
No, but I'm saying that's a different situation. Yeah. He wanted to be able to tap back in, get back in the free agency market, and re-up again. So he's not a dumb guy by any means, but we're talking about an ankle. We're not talking about a knee. We're not talking about a throwing arm. We're not talking about any of these things. So, yes, I do think he'll get paid. Unfortunately, and, you know, I hear a lot of mixed reviews from Cowboy fans, but they sound crazy to me when they talk bad about that. I wanted him to be a Cowboy. Especially with all those weapons. When that offensive line gets healthy again, I think it would have been crazy. But, you know, I am scared of that. I'm scared he'll get offered a contract by the Cowboys again, and he'll take a more player-friendly deal elsewhere.
I wish him the best. I want him to get his money. I just think now with teams and how I don't know.
And there are a lot of bad quarterbacks out there.
There are. I mean, I wish the guy the best. I want him to get the contract. Like I just feel like he's gonna get a 1-year deal, somewhat similar to Cam got, not as low as $1 million, but I feel like he's gonna get possibly a 1-year prove-it deal when these teams aren't going out trying to sign him. So I don't.
He's gonna have his whole free agency. They cut Cam. That was the other thing. They cut Cam after camp. So teams had already had their rosters when Cam was cut.
I like I said, I hope he gets his money. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see how all that plays out. But next, actually one of my best friends is joining back again. Ali. He is a huge Cowboys fan, Rangers fans, Mavs fan, and he joins us now. So what's up, Ali? How you doing?
Ali.
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good, man. Just talking about this Dak situation, and I mean,
yeah, I heard.
I'm gonna just jump right in. Do you feel that he's at least going to get a decent contract from the Cowboys, or would he possibly get something else elsewhere?
I think he will get his contract just based on it's hard to find a franchise quarterback, you know, especially that knows the offense that well.
Yeah.
We struck out with many quarterbacks before we got Romo, and with Dak, it's really heartbreaking when you see because he was kind of grown up finally,
Yeah, because you actually weren't really the biggest Dak fan initially, and then at that point he started to kind of to turn around. I think year 2, 3, you started to actually like him essentially.
Yeah, well, the era I came from was watching Tony Romo, and like how Dak kind of took his job, that it kind of didn't sit well at first, but then. He started growing on me, man. Like, I see the hard work that he puts in, and the team's all behind him. Like, one thing it's hard to do is, gain a whole locker room, and you saw the love that everybody had for him, once he went down.
Should he have taken the contract?
I think that has to do with his agent more than anything else. A lot of things came out about his agent, because the agent, I think, has like 4 people that he represents in the NFL. And all of them are franchise tags. So I think a lot of it has to do with his agent, telling him to wait on, getting a bigger contract. Cause I know he wants to be a Cowboy, and I know Jerry wants to make him a Cowboy or keep him Cowboy, and I think a lot has to do with his agent.
Yeah, I want to say too, man. Shout out to Jason Garrett for coming over, man, and showing the respect that he did for Dak. I mean, we saw the pregame embrace and the love that those two had. It was just a lot of respect there. And then for him to do that, I mean, I know this is that relationship is bigger than football, clearly. But just like you said, it's really tough to win over a whole locker room. As a guy on the coach of the opposite sideline, I mean, I'll just say this: I think there's a lot of coaches that have former guys on the other sideline that wouldn't have done what Jason Garrett did. So I want to, respect out to him. But I'm with you. I think I was just talking about that. Like, Dak isn't a dummy. Dak came out and spoke against his agent and was like, yo, I don't deserve this kind of money. And his agent kind of told him, hey, be quiet. Like, you don't say that. Like you're hurting our contract negotiations.
These agents get a crazy percentage, what they're going to get, So a lot has to do with that agent, pretty much having him wait for more money. I think they're supposed to have a TV contract too, that is going to cause them to spend more, next year.
Exactly. That's what
I think a lot has to do because his dad doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like really greedy. He's like a pretty humble dude, and with him, more of his agent than himself. But right now we gotta, hopefully just pray that he can, come back, from this injury. And I know he's gonna work hard, probably, to get back as fast as he can. So.
Yeah, and that's a big part. I mean, I've said that on here before too. Part of that TV deal is owners trying to get the quarterback salary taken away from so it doesn't impact the rest of the overall salary cap. So it is going to be a bigger market for quarterbacks. Yeah, and it's going to be a big market for quarterbacks. And hindsight is always 20/20, man. Like, if I would have known what I know today, I would have did something different yesterday, right? Like, it's always a little bit. It's always that way. So, I mean, I just hope it works out for him.
It's just crazy how that happened. Like, he's playing against his former coach.
Yeah.
Tony Romo called the game.
Oh man.
The guy who took his job. And his former coach all the same game that happened to him, man. I was just like, what kind of luck is that,
Right. Shout out JD Luster, bro. What's up, little bro?
And 2 more things I'll ask you, Ali. I mean, looking at this season, you guys have Andy. I honestly feel that you guys would probably win the same amount of games with Andy versus Dak. I just don't have enough faith in your defense. Offense is always playing catch up. So I mean, could you see Andy possibly leading this team? This is my biggest fear. I feel like Andy will lead this team to the playoffs, maybe win a game, and then Andy gets a big contract.
No.
I hope that's not that.
I don't think that'll happen. I think with this division, how bad it is, we can win it with Andy.
Right.
But Philly's looking a little bit better now. They're coming around defensively. Wentz is still, and he doesn't look the same that he did that year that he won the MVP. Totally different win. I think with Dak, we would have probably won an extra game or two. compared to what we are going to win with Andy. But I might be wrong. He came in, and Dalton came in, playing, after Dak went down. So, but I think, honestly, I'm for us going for a tank this year, and getting a higher draft pick, because the NFC, looking good with Green Bay, Seattle. These teams are
Looking really good.
Looking really good right now, and I think with us, we need help, defensively. It's hard, on any quarterback, you're down by 21 points, and you're having to score 3 touchdowns just to tie it. That's what Dak is playing with.
Yeah.
And also, man, we gotta with Andy Dalton. I think it was a great signing. To get a veteran backup who has starting experience is obviously a big deal for situations like this. But it would be naive for the Cowboys to go sign him because we saw what he's done with the franchise before. We've seen
We've seen
him
what he did with Cincinnati.
Exactly, with weapons around him too, not with trash. He had AJ Green. He's had the young running backs they have now. He had Giovanni Bernard back then. They had some guys around him, so I think it will be kind of naive to just all of a sudden forget everything we've already seen from Andy Dalton. I do think he'll do well, but our offense will change for sure.
Yeah,
because he's not, especially with the injuries to that offensive line. Now, if he'd have been there last year when they were all healthy, it would have been a little bit smoother adjustment. But we've got 2 rookies starting on the offensive line. We had our Pro Bowl offensive lineman retire in the offseason. James Looney's out. Tyron Smith is out. It's not the same, bookend offensive line that we've had for the past few years. So I think that's going to play a major part too in kind of how he has to adjust. Now he still's got weapons galore, which is a good thing, but I think it'll be a tough go for him.
Exactly, and that's why I'm on the whole. Maybe we don't do as well and get a higher draft pick so we can, we're able to, repair our offensive line or. We need defense no other.
Man.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been telling people.
Players Alden Smith, and he hasn't played in 5 years. That's a problem.
Yeah, really. No matter how many yards Dak throws for, he's not making tackles out there. So that
he was having a historic pace, man. It was just crazy.
Yeah, 2,000 yards through 5 games is crazy.
Yeah, I know he was the top fantasy player right now.
Of course, yeah. Well, yeah, it's playing in all that garbage time, unfortunately. But
we got a better record than you guys. It's not all garbage.
Because you guys are always playing catch up.
Yeah.
But anyways, so on the baseball, obviously.
In the fourth quarter, we don't miss field goals,
Ooh.
Hey, man. Hey. It's too soon.
Right on time. Good call.
One thing before I let you go. Predictions for the World Series. Who you got?
Oh man. I think right now Tampa's going to win that World Series.
Rays, huh?
Yeah. Tampa has a solid team, man. They got the right players to fit. Their bullpen is back. Starting rotation's good lineup. Dodgers are kind of choking right now. Atlanta might knock them out. So. Yeah,
because they're not. What's the score now? Is it still 6-0?
It was 6-0. I don't know.
Yeah, Dodgers.
Yeah, 6-0.
The Dodgers bullpen really showed what they were the first series they played. So I think Tampa wins it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a bad call, man. Tampa winning the NHL Cup and COVID and baseball World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't follow NHL that much, but that was a pretty cool story to have. Both the teams in the bubble from Tampa win it. So.
Right.
I am trying to get out to one of these games though, man, down in Arlington.
Yeah, man. Between that and the Cowboys game, because the Cowboys letting some people in, but it would just be cool to just check out that new stadium. And then they're also too actually mentioning a potential bubble for the NFL playoffs out here in LA. LA obviously with the new stadium and everything, so that should be very interesting because they really have to get this COVID situation just figured out, because I just feel like which is interesting too, because when you think of basketball's starting back up. You can't do a full season of a bubble in the next season of the NBA. So no, there's no way. It's for age games.
The NBA made it work.
They did. They made it work, but you're not going to be able to, for 82 games.
I think if you do a bubble for the whole NBA season, it just includes.
That'd be difficult.
I do think it'll be difficult, but it'll be a shortened season too because we have to understand there'll be a lot more back-to-backs. You don't have to worry about any travel.
Breaking news: Jets just released Le'Veon Bell.
Why is that breaking news?
That just happened right now. I care. We can get him. Sorry.
He's going to Pittsburgh.
He should go back to Pittsburgh, but my fault. Go ahead. Go finish up, Marlon.
No, I was just saying there'll be a lot more back-to-backs because you're not traveling in between games, so you don't have to have travel days off. You don't have to account for all that because everybody's right there in a mile radius at Disney World. So
yeah, but just imagine and that's the thing. Not all the teams weren't even there. So I think maybe half of the teams were there.
And
just
leave
imagine
the half out anyway. Nobody want the Kings. The Kings don't need to have a season. I don't need to watch John Morant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He did great, but leave him out.
Oh man. Well, Ali, man, we appreciate you, man, for tuning in, and we'll see what happens with the Dak situation, how that unfolds next year, and we'll see if Tampa Bay can pull it out in the World Series.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
No
All right,
problem.
Ali,
All
see
right.
you, bro. So talk about Le'Veon, man. You were excited after a year ago when I told you how important he was. Now you're excited about him when you said he wasn't important.
What you mean? Who said he wasn't important?
You don't remember the whole Le'Veon, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster conversation we had?
What episode was that?
It was like 1 or 2. It was early. I remember though. Yeah,
I go back
because it was at the apartment.
Ooh, yeah, that was like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because I said, it changed when Le'Veon left, and then it'll be a lot harder on Juju when Antonio Brown left, and he became that number one guy with double teams and all that stuff. He's still a good receiver, but he's not what Antonio Brown was.
And I thought he would be. I thought he'd be a number one, but yeah, like you said, obviously he's not. But I would love for him to have a reunion back because James Conner isn't the guy. James Conner's okay, but James Conner is nowhere near what
He's a system guy.
Le'Veon Bell
serviceable.
is. And because you can give Le'Veon the ball and he's just so patient the way he reads and this and that. But
running backs that wear number 30 though are all average, like at best.
Speaking of numbers, great segue. With it being episode 45, best player.
Chargers running back when it's hurt right now.
You gonna take a shot at him when the man's hurt?
No, I just took a shot at him if he was healthy. Remember when I said your backs, your young
My
Bulls?
young Bulls, man. That was like episode 1, 2. Best player to wear number 45 and the best player to wear number 15.
I got Mike's on today. I got Jordan's on today.
I feel like it's just he didn't even win nothing when he was 45.
Neither did LT. He said him for 21. So that's out the window.
And then number 15, I've always been one of the biggest Melo fans. So
Melo, my guy.
Melo, I mean, he's
the best player to wear number 15.
But also too, you got to look at Patrick Mahomes. He's obviously there with.
I think Patrick Mahomes will be there.
Right.
To put Patrick Mahomes on the best ever conversation right now is a little premature. We all see him projecting to get there, but nod to Kobe, nod to LeBron, nod to Tom Brady. The reason they are regarded as the greats that they are is, sustained excellence. So we got to see this over time. If something happens, God forbid, he gets hurt or he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a wrap. He's not in that conversation. He's a woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Right. Yeah. So. Jordan's right there. Yeah, so there's a few quick things before we get into our last caller. It was great to see Alex Smith back. I mean, he's just from an injury that nobody even knew if he was going to come back and play. And his name was called, and he came, and just as a defender, just imagine you're going up to tackle him, Aaron Donald. You don't want to hurt the dude. You don't want to.
I don't think that was anywhere in Aaron Donald's mind.
But here's the thing: in this day and age in the NFL, you do like that, and you get in the flag. So, I mean, but it's just great to see him back. Felt good. Wife was in the stand stressing out, so that was
Helix High's own.
So
La Mesa, California, San Diego, Alex Smith, the Helix High School.
Okay.
Never lost a game, still came.
So that was great to see. Chiefs and Raiders. Every once in a while, Chiefs have a bad game. like this.
Oh, you're not gonna give B Barber a shout out? You're not gonna show no love? You still gonna be disrespectful to the second best team in the AFC West?
And
Raiders.
Then, and then
B Barber. I'm not
Hey.
gonna let him do this to you. Shout out to the Raiders, man. The Raiders did what you guys thought you were gonna do.
Raiders still horrible, man.
They better than y'all.
Dan Quinn finally gone from the Falcons, so that's something that Falcon fans have been screaming forever. Dr. Falcon was on here 2 episodes ago screaming that they need to get rid of him, so he's finally gone. Now you just have to figure out,
Now you need to get rid of Matt Ryan.
There's actually saying, I think that I think it was the GM was saying that he's not sold on him, so I think they may be trying to tank for Trevor. So
Hey, you might be able to get Dak.
we'll see how that happens.
I like to see Dak,
Really?
Julio, Dak, and Ridley's
That
nice.
might be not bad. Really, yeah, really's cool.
And
Really
Todd
good.
Gurley shows flashes, bro.
Mhm.
Shout out to who did we just played him, I think.
Seahawks.
No, who got
Vikings
signed?
are horrible, man.
Somebody got signed the other day, and he looked really good against us. Freeman from Atlanta. That's what made me think about
Devontae Freeman.
it. Devontae Freeman.
He a concussion away from being out the league
That's all
forever.
right, man. Hey,
Forever.
look, don't.
He's always hurt.
Why you want one guy to come back from injury but not another guy to do well? I want them all to do well. Congratulations on being back in the league, Devontae. You looked good. That's all.
He was in the league last year. It wasn't like he was out for 5 years.
No, but he was out for a couple weeks.
Be careful, baby. All right, and then we have, obviously, like I said before, Rivers looks horrible, man. They're just a complete different team, and I mean, it sucks to say that, but he's done. He's done. They're better off with Jacoby Brissett. It's just a matter of time before he gets benched. But Jacoby Brissett.
No, who's getting benched?
Rivers. Yeah, he looks.
Oh, that's your guy. That's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. He looks horrible. Philly with another loss. I mean, they're.
Oh man, they were in first place too. They're gonna win the division though.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't think Andy Dalton.
Philly
wins the division.
or Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens with them if they want to go back and pick up Le'Veon Bell and possibly get him for less money.
Connor's hurt, right?
I think he played. I don't know. I think he played last week. So, other than that,
We got one
as
more
far
call.
as and one more caller, then we good. He's a big.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah,
Before we
go
get
for
to him, shout out our sponsor, man.
Oh.
Jersey Junkyard 2020. Shout out to Jersey Junkyard. They specialize in bringing the best in quality, the best in pricing for all of your fan gear, whether it's hats, jerseys, t-shirts, whatever you're looking for as a fan. Jersey Junkyard has it. Quick, friendly shipping to wherever you are around the country, and all you gotta do is shout out to them on either Instagram or email jerseyjunkyard2020@gmail.com or jerseyjunkyard2020 on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And if you mention the code #Marlon versus Marlon, 10% off. #Marlon versus Marlon on the Jersey Junkyard. Get 10% off your order. Order shipped within 7 to 14 days. Custom jerseys, throwback jerseys, whatever you need, they got it. On the field, legit.
You need it, they got it. You need it, they got it.
All right, let's get into this last
All
caller.
right,
man.
last caller. So he's a big Niners fan, and also too he's a Cardinals fan. So we were kind of going back and forth when the Padres and the Cardinals played. But Jimmy Jam, he joins
he's a
us
49er
next.
fan?
Niners fan.
I got a question for him about Garoppolo, man. I picked up Garoppolo. My quarterback was in a bye week.
Nobody
He gets
cares
benched
about
at
your fantasy
halftime.
team.
It's looking like yours now. It's looking like yours.
What's going on, Jimmy? How you doing?
Boys, how are you? Thank you for having me on, man. It's an honor. I appreciate it.
Jimmy, thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, not a problem. Hey, listen, Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. Let's just say he's on the waiver wire in my league too, and I'm not trying to scoop him up. You know what I'm saying?
Was he coming back a week or two too early, you think?
Oh, without a doubt. And listen, I can understand why they're trying to bring him back because things prior to him coming back seemed like they were falling at the seams already. And you know me, Marlon, I'm never like an apologetic for any of my teams or whatever. It's kind of a weird season. The only thing they lead the league in is injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the problem with that
Well,
is a lot of things.
we might be tied for injuries, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. Man. Hey, listen, Marlon, can I say real quick? It's been since your Padres, and I kind of heard the tail end of that before you introed me.
Yeah.
You guys put us on your knee, and you were spanking us at will, and you were up on the mountaintops, and then the past week and a half have been kind of rough for you, man.
Yeah,
Like,
all over. Well, kind of, sort of, but the Lakers help it out. So.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's a great series. You guys probably know way more basketball than I do, and it's kind of funny. Like, I just got into it this year, really, and kind of hard in midsummer, the second part of the season. I hadn't really watched the game in the first part, but during the quarantine, you kind of choose who you hang out with very closely, right? And I have a nephew I'm extremely close with, and he's a huge Detroit fan, but. So we got into a lot of basketball, and so I got to watch. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have watched the finals. And congratulations, man, because
Appreciate it, man.
I'm gonna, dude. It was literally in my eye, can I say virgin basketball eyes? It was the two best. I think this year there was a lot of teams with big twos, right?
Right.
And you guys by far had the biggest two of anything, in the league, right? And you had the two best guys on the court, but you had this Miami team, and I think maybe they picked up really traction against the Celtics series, right?
Yep.
And they were scrappy, and you have Olenek, you have Jimmy Buckets, Crowder, and you have a really like a good base of a team, and everybody contributes. But at the end of the day, the two best players just took over, and that's what it was, man.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it was definitely a great win. And one thing, too, I know you're not, super huge in the NBA, but Dwight Howard and Rondo deserve a ton of credit for the finals. I mean, Rondo he's actually one of those scrappy players, and I remember back, I don't know how many years ago it was, where we thought we were going to get him. And, it's obviously didn't play out, but, he's one of those good players that doesn't really get a lot of credit. The past few years, he signed for league minimum, essentially, or a little more than that. But, we had a lot of great role players. Some didn't come through as much as we'd like them to, and some of those guys are probably going to get released, or Danny Green, maybe one of them. We'll see what happens with that. But
that's too bad, man. I was going to say him and Caldwell were the two that stuck in my mind,
Right.
Yeah. I think Caldwell Pope. I even think Danny Green. The one thing about what Danny Green brought was that experience, man. It matters. You know what I mean? He's been there before. Obviously, the rest of the team has two now. But I don't know if this experience helps you next year if you're in a real playoff situation with real fans on away court. You never know how this experience will translate into the real world after COVID. Hopefully, we get there one day.
Yeah.
I know it's an obvious dumb question, but what's next for the Lakers, if I can ask you?
I was actually thinking about that. It was actually one of my topics that we were going to bring up, but I just think that there's going to be a lot of pieces that will move because, like I said, a lot of these guys are on league minimum. So I feel that some of them might get a contract offer elsewhere and take that for a little bit more. Rondo, Dwight, I think Dwight earned himself a contract. Not from us because we're not going to pay him too much more because we got two max guys and obviously LeBron and AD. So which AD is going to get the super max. But I don't know. And that's the thing. It's really down to the players that are willing to take less because most of these guys are going to get contracts, or at least some of the guys are going to get better offers somewhere. So
I think, for me, the Lakers have to get better. If they put together the same team or something similar to it this year, the next year, I don't think it's good enough to win another championship. You have the Warriors coming back.
Rest.
You have the Clippers getting a year better. You have the Brooklyn Nets. You have Giannis, where he might end up. A lot of people think, and I'll take credit for it. Pat myself on the back. I was the first to say this. He might go to Miami. So if you get that Miami team that just made a finals appearance and then add a guy like him or even add another superstar, I think it'll be tough. I think the Mavericks will be back in the fold, in the thick of things. And if they can add somebody else. So you really got to get better. And it sounds crazy coming off a championship season, but Next year's going to be
We've
even
seen it
crazier.
happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think you're right in the fact that they do have to get better, because I feel like the theme of the NBA this year compared to past years is there's really not that huge gap from number 1 to number 2, and the rest of maybe through 6, So anywhere 2 through 6 can make a power move in the off season, and make a jump.
And look at Miami, a 5 seed, 4 or 5 seed, I think they're number 5 seed, made it to the NBA Finals, which is a team that another stinky good team, and I feel like if they could maybe get one extra piece or so, I think that they're going to be right back in there. They're a sneaky good team. I said Lakers in 6. I didn't after game 1 and 2. Everybody was, we're going to sweep them, and like you said, it's going to be over in 3. All that stuff. So they're a sneaky good team that I feel will be back. And also too, you have to look at Philadelphia with the new coach and Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen with that?
I like Philly with Doc.
Yeah.
I like Philly with Doc.
And then Brooklyn.
That might be the power move.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Brooklyn, and then Boston is still going to be back. They're young. They're getting better and healthier, and also too, Toronto is a team that doesn't really have a superstar, but they're a team that's gonna be around. They're gonna be there. So the East, I think, is getting a little bit stronger. And then when you look at the West, I mean, the West is always gonna be there.
Yeah.
So
it's tried and true, right?
Yeah. So
but you're right with Toronto and Boston. That might, I don't know about you, but we'll exclude the finals. By the way, boys, you guys popped my cherry. It's in January. You said, hey, Jimmy Jam, you're going to be talking NBA on a podcast. I was like, can I swear for a second? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm like, fuck out of here. I feel like
I'm glad that you asked first, too, by the way.
I love that.
No, but hey, you know me, I'm a respectful guy. And,
Yeah.
And I don't know if Marlon showed you a picture, but if I classify myself, I'd say tall, white, and nerdy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, I never thought he'd talk in basketball here. But I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's, the off season is definitely going to dictate, where things go. And like you said, I'm glad you brought up Doc Rivers, because it wasn't, their last series where they lost, wasn't a lot of it was about how the players were managed, right?
Yeah. So
Doc was gonna move.
Right. So we'll see how it plays out. But on to football. I know that's your bread and butter, and I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the Chargers, and this is something that this is nothing new as far as for us losing the way that we lost, miss extra point, miss field goal towards the end of regulation. This is something that is very new to us. I predicted us to go 5-11, so I'm not. Nothing was going in with Tyrod Taylor. We're not going to win anything with Tyrod Taylor. Like that just it is what it is. But Justin Herbert, this guy is a star, and I'm not necessarily so mad about last night because hey, it is what it is. But I see the potential in this guy. This guy is going to get better. He's going to learn he's going to get more chemistry with Keenan. He obviously went out in the game, and Mike Williams and some of our other guys. But I don't think Anthony Lynn is the guy. I feel like if we...
I think you're right. And it's kind of similar to what we were just talking to, about Philadelphia, right? It's almost like a management of, like, the team in general. You guys have been injured, right?
Say it again?
You guys have been injured, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, starting running back is hurt. Our best player in Derwin James, he's out. So I feel like with injuries...
I know who he is.
Yeah.
And he was there at number, I believe, 9 with San Francisco. We let him go by. And I'm like, the one time I could get a Florida State great playing for my football team. But I'm glad he went with you. Your defense is crazy, but it's injured.
Yeah.
Crazy but right now, right?
And it's funny because Marlon said it might be a possibility that my Bosa goes and plays with your Bosa. So I'm glad that we ended up getting him signed for a while. But that would have been and I'm pretty sure. And really, with the Chargers organization, everybody's going to come out and say the right thing. Oh, yeah, I love this franchise. I want to stay with this organization. Most of them are liars. But I'm sure he would have loved to go play with a San Francisco team. But,
Well, probably more so his brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, think about you. And I don't know if you have a brother or not, but if you do, and you guys were both in the NFL, think about the genetic lottery in that. So,
just like with the Seahawks, with the Griffin brothers.
Oh. Big time, right?
Look at that,
I'm glad you brought that up. But here's the deal. he was loyal to the team that drafted him, right? And you know, and your quarterback, it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I watch him play. His first, you know, it's a very small sample size, but he's doing better than Peyton Manning year one. You know, if we're gonna really set a benchmark,
Peyton Manning was really bad year one, though.
Yeah, but okay, all right.
But
there, listen, I think he's doing good for
Right.
what he has. You know.
He's doing good. I just see the potential. So we'll see what happens with that. But switching over to the Dak situation, we all saw the tough injury. It's very, very tough to watch. It's super unfortunate. How do you think that's going to play out for him next year? Do you see Dallas possibly giving him a contract, or do you think they're going to be like, sorry, you know, go test free agency?
I don't know that there's any one player that the whole world felt more collectively bad for than Dak Prescott on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And I think the irony with the situation itself is it's like the football gods gave us Alex Smith back, which we all loved, that first completion, but it's almost like they wanted something in return, you know? and unfortunately, Dak was he was injured, and I'm not going to predict what is going to happen, but I will say this: for his situation, being that close to maybe getting a contract, we don't know what happened behind doors and how close he might have really got and not really getting it. And then having this happen, and then on top of that, the one owner that you probably don't want to have as an owner to have this happen is Jerry Jones. It doesn't look good for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jerry Jones is like, he would cut his own kid off the team if it was saving a buck, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and I think here's the deal. Andy Dalton, it's not that bad of a situation right now. I think with the Cowboys with Andy Dalton are better than a lot of other teams out there. And, you know, the one thing I do question is Dak and CeeDee Lamb. They have some really good chemistry, but I think CD is like DK freakish. So I'm hoping his timing and stuff doesn't get disrupted, but if there's any better a backup, well, it's got to be Dalton, right?
Yeah, and I honestly feel like they may win the same amount of games with Andy. I just feel like he'll just do enough to kind of get by, and especially with the Cowboys defense. I mean, they weren't helping them win any games.
Well,
anyway,
I think this is why that might be true, because with Dalton, you have to run the ball more. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Cowboys have been missing. We ran the ball the least amount of times any football team this year up until this week, I should say. And when you have a guy who's arguably, you know, I'm not even going to say arguably, when you have a top 5 running back, he has
top 3.
He has to get the ball more. And so, yes, they were leaning a lot on Dak, and, you know, whatever, 2,000 yards through 5 weeks is great. But a lot of that is, like you say, is playing from behind, you're in passing situations. But even in situations when they weren't trailing, they just weren't handing the ball off.
Right.
And I think with Andy Dalton, it forces you to do so. Now, the defense knows that also, so it's not going to be the same threat. But, I mean, your play action isn't quite the same. Like, Dak has the ability to run the ball. So it changes the offense a lot. But I do think that's why you go out and give a backup, you know, $3-4 million. So
situations like this,
so this happens. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens. So yeah.
Can I ask you, did you take heat as a fan from your friends when they signed Dalton?
I don't have any friends when it comes to football, because anybody who talks bad about the Cowboys is not my friend. But I did hear a lot of the chatter saying, oh, he's going to be the starter. But if you go sign a guy from Cincinnati who never made the playoffs, who didn't win anything there, and think he's going to come here and change, would be really silly to me.
Right.
I mean,
right.
like Herbert's getting a lot of credit for what he's done the last couple of weeks. We saw Dak as a rookie go 12-4 and get to the playoffs. So, like, it's not like Dalton hasn't had a chance to prove himself. So I didn't think he would come in and take the job, but I did like the signing. I did.
Yeah, he's closed door meeting, Dalton and Jerry Jones. He's just saying, just manage the team.
Yep.
That's all you need to do. You know, Flacco did it in the Super Bowl, right? And they didn't have anywhere near a running back as Zeke Elliott. So, and you hit the nail on the head, I think, too, because Dallas had a unique problem or situation rather, in the fact that Dak is a great quarterback. Nobody can deny that. But if you're going to pound for pound Dak and Zeke's the better, we'll call it unit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It should be run to set Dak up. But I think the problem was Dak got a new lollipop from CeeDee Lamb too. You know, like
CeeDee Lamb was playing really well,
yeah.
right?
Especially or was it 2 weeks ago when first touchdown, and he got another touchdown. So
and Gallup has made 2 huge catches now and comebacks for the Cowboys. I mean, he made the one to set up that game-winning field goal. He made a huge catch against Atlanta in that comeback. So it's I mean, and then another one where we got the offensive pass interference call that was questionable. But I mean, he's gonna have the weapons. He's gonna have the threats.
But you're right. And when you have a defense that's maybe not the best in the NFL, how do you keep a team like the Browns from scoring as much as they did? You pound the rock, right?
Right,
Exactly.
right. So,
Exactly.
hey, Jimmy, before we get on out of here, I need your World Series predictions. Who you got?
Oh man, I'm going Braves Tampa Bay, and I'm just going to say Game 2 tonight was the pitcher Anderson was a hometown boy for the Braves. He went to school about 10 minutes from where I live, and I played a lot of ball against this high school and in his town. So I'm rooting for you know our guy Shaka, right?
Yeah, Shaka, yeah, in Atlanta.
Braves. I'm rooting for the Braves Tampa Bay.
Okay. All right, we'll see it. Hey, man, we appreciate you for coming on, and we'll be in touch soon.
It's an honor. I'll see you on Twitter.
All right.
Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Man, so another good episode. Yeah, like I said, we're going to try to get at least more consistent with getting everybody in and not cramming 10 people in one episode, because then Marlon gets grumpy and cranky.
Oh, we're over an hour. I'm grumpy now.
See, he just grumpy. Marlon wants to do 30-minute episodes. It's not enough to cover everything in a week. No, it's not.
We talked about the Cowboys 4 times today.
Well, you gotta. It's actually.
And they're 2 and 3, by the way. They're not even like a
just
good team.
as big of a topic as it is Lakers winning with Dak.
Yeah.
It's a huge topic. You can't sit there and say it's not.
Slow news week. I think
But other
the
than
Braves
that,
is a better topic. I think the Packers is a better topic.
they were on a bye week.
I think.
What do you want to talk about?
I think Seattle's comeback was a bigger topic. We didn't even talk about that. And that great performance that Les put on.
I mentioned it earlier. It was a good.
We didn't talk about the guy who you love to hate, who beat you guys yesterday, who had another good performance.
Who?
Drew Brees. You say he's old. And
He is old. He needs to
the young guy.
He needs to retire. It's not that hard to beat us. I think everybody knows that. But what's up with your boy Michael Thomas knocking people out at practice?
It's football, man. If you've ever played on a team, you've seen fights in practice before. It's weird now that people are starting to get suspended for it. It's probably why they're not going to win anything.
There was something else that came out that said he got into an altercation with Sean Payton, and so that's why he didn't play. But so.
Kobe, Mike, they never got suspended for beating up a player in practice or yelling or pushing to somebody or punching somebody. Like it's been.
It's in a different.
And I'm not gonna say any names because my teammates watch.
Knocking people out.
No. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I've broken up fights in practice, like fist fights, like fights where the coach would be like, "Nah, let them go. Y'all grown." Like,
yeah,
y'all teammates can jump in and break it up if they want to, but. Sometimes that just happens, man. When you spend so much time around people, it's bound to happen. And you going hard. Like in college, for me, practices was harder than games. We had in Division II basketball, we had 3 Division I kickbacks that were redshirted. So literally, most of the guys I played against in practice was better than guys I was gonna play against in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it wasn't like it was battles, bro. Like our center went to the NBA, played 6-7 years in the NBA. Ivan Johnson, like, had 2 teammates play overseas for 10 plus years. So, like, these guys was competitive. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, and I'm just saying that for Mike, for Earl Thomas. Like, when stuff goes wrong, when we lost a game, and we had coaches that was talking shit. So, like, after we lost in practice, you wasn't gonna hear about it until you got a win. Mm-hmm. And so guys didn't like it, man.
And also, too, I just think sometimes people love to test you. They love to, you're the guy that's making all the money, this and that. And sometimes, too, if you get beat on a play or if you get... I feel like Josh Norman was a huge one. We just saw him get pushed around by
He got a little boy.
Oh.
He got a little boy by Derrick Henry.
But I think we see stuff like that where sometimes they try to test your manhood, or they try to beat you on a play and this and that and get under your skin, and they're talking trash to you and this and that.
And
so
if you're the best player, for Michael Thomas especially, and Josh Norman back in his earlier days,
in Carolina,
but when you're the best guy on the roster, I got to make a play against you.
I'm trying to get seen.
Yeah, that's how it happens. Is I'm trying to go hard at you every day, because to my point, I'm not gonna play against anybody better than you.
Right.
So I have to go hard right now, and if I can get stops on you, playing against the next guy is gonna be that much easier.
Right.
So
especially if you're the best, I'm coming after you.
And as Michael Thomas, he probably like, bro, I'm Michael Thomas. Leave me alone. Stop messing with me. Don't touch me. Don't pass interference to me in this game. Don't hold me. Like, it's all kind of frustrations that can happen. And he's been out for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, so it's all kind of frustration
itching to get back. So, but yeah, man. Other than that, I just got some the week 6 games going up now. Obviously, with the whole COVID thing that's been going on, I feel like they've been doing a great job. And really, when you don't have any fans, it's easier to move these games around. Some, like I think in Tennessee, they have some fans. So
Tuesday night football is great, by the way.
It's
we should just have one game a week.
Man, we need we need 2 Monday night games. Honestly, I feel every week that's good for me. Have one a little bit earlier and one at the regular time. Maybe push it back a little bit, but
I'll trade 2 Monday night games for one Monday, one Tuesday.
Or yeah, just something else, because we we're gonna have one on Thursday. Friday, I don't necessarily want one. Saturday's all college football, so I think it's good right there.
You watching college football?
No, but the is it the
Florida Gators had an outbreak.
College is bad, man. College is getting bad, but
there's no Thursday night game this week. Pushed back because of COVID.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So Texans and Titans. So they obviously have a short week, so they play Sunday.
Prediction for the Cowboys game on Monday.
Are you guys Monday night?
600 yards for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Kyler going.
I think he's going to throw for like 400 against us.
Oh, we got 2 Monday. Why do we have 2 Monday night games this week?
Because
is that the way they rescheduled it? Chiefs and the Bills. Huh. Okay. And then we got Packers and Packers and Bucks. That should be a good one. So yeah, we got a ton of good games. But other than that, man, we just like, subscribe, everything. My baby's crying. Come here, baby.
Daddy duties.
Yeah, my baby crying. So we gotta get out of here. So other than that,
she wants shorter episodes too.
Right. We'll catch y'all next week. Like, subscribe. Come here, baby. My wife's gonna kill me.
Go, peace. We out.